الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه والسنة وسنة الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا اجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا أعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Yes, كويس ما في. Our topic today inshallah is about a historical event that happened many hundreds of years ago. And history, as you know, is very important to understand and remember, and sometimes in history there is what we call exaggeration, mubalagha. People do mubalagha, exaggeration when doing history, because obviously there is no way of authenticating it and verifying it. It's not a hadith, or it's not a Quran or ayah. It's tarikh. Tarikh is based on people who write it. When the month of Muharram comes in the Muslim world, some people become sad and depressed. And one thing that we have to understand as Muslims, that Rasulullah ﷺ is our uswa hasana. In Surah Ahzab, Surah 33, He mentioned to us, Allah SWT mentioned to us about Rasulullah ﷺ, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Indeed, in the example of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is a role model for you or Muslims to follow. And for whom is this role model? لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Whoever desires Allah and the last day, day of judgment, the day of accountability, the day of questioning. If you are concerned about accountability, then you will follow him as role model example. But if you are not worried about accountability, or you don't want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will not follow the sunnah of Rasulullah or his example step by step. Some places you will follow, some places you will not, because your desire is not to meet Allah. The one who desires to meet Allah wants to make sure that I do the best practice. Whatever Rasulullah did, I have to do that. So that on Yawm al-Qiyamah, when I meet Allah, Allah will say, MashaAllah, good job. You followed Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Why I say this? Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us in his lifetime how to mourn death. He told us how to celebrate happiness, and he also told us how to feel sad and depressed and mourning, condolences. He has laid down a clear guideline. When you're happy, you should do this. When you're sad, this is what you should do. How many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many hours, everything is defined. Nothing is ambiguous. So for mourning a death, Rasulullah said 3 days. If somebody die, your father, your mother, your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, no matter what it is, death is death. Everybody has to die. Even if somebody is assassinated, somebody is murdered, somebody is killed, still is death. But the guideline for Rasulullah is 3 days for general public. Of course, for the woman, if she's a wife, she has more than that. She has iddah, and the iddah period is a day of months of sadness. 4 months for that. Therefore, if an event happened in the tarikh, history of Islam, we don't continue mourning it or celebrating it every year. Yes, we talk about it, like today. We're talking about the death of the grandson, or the martyrdom, shahada, of the grandson, Nawasai Rasulullah. Yes, we as people of Ahl Sunnah, we have more right on Hassan and Hussein anhuma than any other people who claim out there. Because we are more attached to Ahlul Bayt. The Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, who are they? They are following the Ahlul Bayt. And therefore, how do you follow Ahlul Bayt, the house of Rasulullah ﷺ? Through Qudwa, through Uswa Hasana, through example. If Rasulullah was alive in front of the martyrdom shahad of Imam Hussein, how would have he remembered or mourned the death of his grandson. 3 days. Maximum, if you want to do, 40 days. There are some riwayat, you can go up to 40 days of sadness in the house. But after 40 days, 400 years, 4,000 years? No. After 40 days, the day your father or mother died, yes, you can still remember that. It's not like the other extreme is that some extremist Muslims do, totally remove any remembrance of the death. No. We don't remove total remembrance of the death. You know which day your father died. You know which day your mother died. When that day comes every year, yes, you're going to be sad. You can recite Quran. You can recite dua. You can go to the graveyard. You can, put some flowers at the graveyard. You can remember that day, but you can't pull your hair or put your head on the wall or put a stone on your head that my father died today. I have to hit my head with a stone. Everything is defined in the Sunnah of Rasul. So Rasul said, if there is death, this is how you do that. That's one thing. Second thing, which is very important when learning tariq, history, is factual information is very important. A lot of times people do mubalagha, exaggeration, by putting non-factual information in there. And that is why it's very important to understand that Rasulullah, he was a prophet of Allah. He was a Rasul, a Nabi. He had sons, he had daughters. What the ulama, the scholars of history, seerah, have written, that Allah took away his sons. Why? Allah left his daughters. They lived their full life, got married, had children, died natural death. 2 sons. What were the names of the sons of Rasulullah? Who knows? Qasim, Abdullah, and Ibrahim. Qasim was his kunya. Abu Qasim, his kunya is Abdullah and Ibrahim. 2 sons. Both died at a young age. There are numerous hadiths of Rasulullah. When Abdullah died, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was young, not even baligh. Both these sons died before bulugh, before being a baligh in person, a man. And when they both died, when Abdullah died, Rasulullah shed tears. People asked, Ma hadha ya Rasulullah, what is this? We see you crying. And he said, I'm a human being like you. I'm a father, I'm a dad. I'm not just because I'm a Rasul, a prophet, doesn't mean I'm an angel or I'm an alien. I'm a human being like you. I feel sad. My son died. Tell me, which father doesn't cry on their son's death? When I asked this question at another masjid, one brother said, the father whose son is baghi, rebellious, the one you have done aht. Our Pakistani people are very good to do aht. They don't know nothing what does aht mean. By the way, for Arab brothers, the word aht means I kick you out of my inheritance, my life, my family, my house, everything. This is the meaning of aht. This is an un-Islamic thing. There is no such thing in Islam. No hadith says that. So all you Desi people, Indian Pakistani people who are thinking of aht of your son or daughter, this doesn't exist. So I told that brother also, even if your child, even if your son and daughter is rebellious, nafarman, baghi, when you hear their news of death, you should shed some tear and go to them. No, I haven't seen my son for 10 years, 20 years. I haven't stopped talking to my daughter 30 years. I think recently in Pakistan something is happening like this, right? This is a big news now in Pakistan that some actress died and they're talking about that his father was totally against her and he had kicked her out of the house and things like that. I don't know, all the garbage. Even if somebody dies, even if your son and daughter is the worst child on this earth, and you have stopped talking to them for 10, 15 years, when you get the news that they died, you go and receive them, give them their last rites, and do the janazah, do the ghusl, do the kafan, make dua for them. What good is that son and daughter gonna be buried in the grave and the father and mother are remaining angry? So this is very important, that any father, any mother, when they see their son and daughter die, yes, they will be sad. Even if the child is a disobedient child, rebellious child, even if they were a drug addict, gangster, gang person, or have run away from the house, they are still your flesh and blood. The day you get the news they left the dunya, they've gone. They left the dunya. Allah took them back. Now it's time to forgive them, pardon them, ignore their mistake, and ask dua of maghfirah. Some people in our society are so stubborn, so rigid-hearted, even after their death, they don't want to forgive somebody. And these people, Allah will hold them accountable on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So that is why it's very important to understand that when Abdullah who died, Rasulullah cried. When when Ibrahim died, he again cried. And the people asked Rasul, what is this? He said, I am a human being like you, my father. This is sadness. But he did sadness for 3 days, and then he went back to business, back to work. Nabi, Rasul. It's not that for the next whole year he stopped doing preaching, stopped doing Nabuwa, Risala. No. For the next 10 years he stopped everything. Oh, my son died, my son died, my son died. No. Life goes back to normal, and you have to do your work. So we see, as the ulama have written, what's the wisdom behind Allah taking his sons away, so that no one tomorrow make them a Nabi or make them Khalifa. Authority, leadership, Rasulullah did not define that after I die, who's going to be my Naib, my assistant. He didn't choose anybody. He didn't even say, make sure you choose Abu Bakr as the Khalifa, he is the next person. He never said that. And there's a reason, hikmah for that. He wanted the ummah to choose their leader. Otherwise, he could have chosen Ali ibn Abi Talib and said, Ali, you are from my family, Ahlul Bayt, make sure you are the first Khalifa after I die. Not a single hadith, even da'if or munkar hadith doesn't exist where Rasulullah said, Ali, you're going to be my naib, my leader. No. Rasulullah was silent. In fact, there are many riwayat where people asked him, Ya Rasulullah, who's going to be after you? Especially when the ayah in Surah Zumar was revealed, إِنَّكَ مَيُّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيُّتٌ. You will die, O Rasulullah, and they will also die. In another ayah in Surah Ahzab, when Allah revealed that ayah, that if the Rasul dies, what? You will leave Islam, you will make kufr, you will deny Islam, you were just Muslim while he's alive. When he dies, you know, because they never thought about death of Rasulullah. What are we going to do after he died? So even then when someone asked, he said, he was silent, didn't say anything. And the hikmah in that is that deliberately, knowingly, he did not appoint anyone from his family. Number one, Allah did not keep any males in his family. So the nubuwah is finished. He's the Khatamun Nabiyyin. Number two, there's no male in his family that will continue his lineage. Because in Islam, the lineage continues from boys. Yes, girls are also very, very respectable and honorable, but the family tree, the family nasl continues with the boy. That's why Allah revealed Surah Kawthar, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْهَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. When Abdullah died, the people in Mecca, especially the old ladies, they began saying, Abtara Muhammad, especially Abu Jahl, Abu Lab. Abtar means that you have been destroyed, devastated. Because your nasl has ended, finished. You have no son. So where is the family DNA lineage going to go? That this is Ibrahim, son of Muhammad, son of Abdullah, son of Abdul Muttalib. So there is no Ibrahim, there is no Abdullah. So now they began taunting. So Allah revealed this surah to give comfort to Rasulullah and to tell him that inna shaniyaka huwal abtar. Your enemies are the one who are going to be devastated. No one will remember their name. Nobody will remember their family. But you and your family, they will be remembered until Qiyamah. Because of the sacrifices of his family. How much he sacrificed, how much his daughter sacrificed for Deen, Islam, how much his son-in-law Ali ibn Abi Talib sacrificed for Deen, Islam. So this is very important to understand for us, that leadership, continuing leadership was never defined by Rasulullah. He never said that Ali or Hassan or Hussein should be my assistant, my deputy, or should have the leadership of Ummah after the Rasulullah. Third thing, very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the life of Rasulullah had given him some prophecies, had given him, shown him certain images, certain dreams. Sometimes Allah sent Jibreel alayhi salam and opened up a vision in front of him. Like that famous hadith, a long one in Bukhari, where Jibreel alayhi salam showed him tons and tons of people. Mashariq al-ard wa magharibiha, as the hadith says. The east and the west and the north and south, everywhere there's people. Rasulullah said, Ya Jibreel, ma hadha? What is this, Jibreel? Jibreel alayhi salam said, Ya Rasulullah sallam, Allah sent me today to show you that your message of La ilaha illallah will enter every house in the east and the west and the north and south. And he started crying. Rasulullah, he said, really? My message of La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, will go everywhere. This is how much he loved us. This is how much fikr he had. Tadap. And look where we are today. What are we doing with La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah? We are literally, hum zabah kar rahe is kalime shahadat. We are literally butchering La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. He was worried, how will La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah will go spread to all part of the world. He was so worried. So Allah sent Jibreel, go tell my Habib Mustafa, relax him, calm him down, show him the world, show him the future. This is where his ummah will be. So he saw this image, tons and tons of people, just head with hair. And he asked him, what is this, Jibreel? Jibreel said, Ya Rasulullah sallam, this is your ummah. In the north, in the south, in the west, in the east. Relax, Ya Rasulullah. You sitting here in Medina, having fikr, having concern for this kalima, relax. Your kalima is the job of Allah. You do your work, you do your effort, Ya Rasulullah sallam. Allah will make sure that Muhammad Rasulullah name is in every part of the world. And it is true. Even in Fiji, first island where sun rises in the east, Fiji Island, there are so many masajid, so many people. Fajr starts in Fiji Island, it's still over here, it is still Dhuhr time. That's how much difference there is. 22 hours difference almost, or 20-hour difference. Fiji. They're praying Fajr, and it's still Dhuhr of the previous day in California. And what are they making in Azan? Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. And Rasulullah smiled. Really, Jibreel, this is my ummah? He said, yes. All over the world, not a single place, even if you go to some island in the middle of the ocean, you will find, inshallah, someone saying, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And then Allah revealed this ayah to Rasul in the Surah Muhammad. The surah named after Prophet Muhammad, Surah Muhammad, 47th surah in the Quran. Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Allah is telling us, the ummah of Muhammad. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. In tansurullah yansurkum. O you who believe, O you have iman. In tansurullah, if you make Allah successful, yansurkum, Allah will make you successful, you as a human being. وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ, and Allah will establish your feet, make your qadam strong on earth. What does tansurullah mean? Does Allah need nusrah? No. Allah is qawi, aziz. Allah is ghani. Allah doesn't need our help. But what does it mean here in tansurullah? As the ulama of tafsir wrote, it means in tansuru deen Allah. In tansuru deena Muhammad, in tansuru kalima la ilaha illallah yansurkum. You make this kalima successful, Allah will make you successful. You make this kalima disaster, devastated, Allah will make you disaster, devastated. Allah Ta'ala आपकी निशानी मिटा देगा, आपको नेस्त नाबूद कर देगा अगर आपने इस कलमे का हक अदा नहीं किया और इस कलमे को अपने दीन से, दुनिया से मिटा दिया. लेकिन अगर इस कलमे को आपने जिंदगी में बसा लिया, अपनी जिंदगी में, अपनी सोसाइटी में बसा लिया, तो अल्लाह ताला सिर्फ आपको नहीं, आपकी आने वाली नस्लों को भी इस दुनिया में कायम और दायम रखेगा. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those people who establish this deen of Allah in every nook and corner. And may Allah use our children and children's children. May Allah use our future generations of children who come in United States, who live in this land as the khidmah of this deen. May Allah use our children for the service of this deen and make Islam alive through them. We will be gone. We will be replaced. We will be sleeping in our graves. But this masjid will continue until Qiyamah. Our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will still be praying here and still be using this masjid and the building next door, the 3-story building we're going to build and leave behind for them, for the nusrah of La ilaha illallah. When you make dua, be big, be vast. Make dua that, oh Allah, make the whole Woodbridge Muslim. Or record na kare warna ye piche pad jayenge mere sare piche. Very piche pade. Don't record it. May Allah make all society and locality Muslim. Why? Not because we are aggressive or terrorist people. We love people. We want to save people from Nar Jahannam. We love people. We want them to be saved. That's why Allah is saying, In tansurullah yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamak. This is the ayah which Imam Hussein anhu used to face and go all the way to Karbala. Here's now the history. I know I have 5 minutes to finish. This is the history that when Ali ibn Abi Talib was assassinated, the 4th Khalifa, Rashida, 4 Khulafa Rashidin we have. Abu Bakr anhu, who was chosen by the Shura, Mashwara of all the Sahaba. Not one dissent was there. No one dissented and said, no, Ali should be Khalifa. He was chosen by all the Sahaba. Then Umar ibn Khattab, suggested by Abu Bakr and selected by all the Sahaba. Not one person dissented. In fact, Umar ibn Khattab insisted that Ali is more deserving for it. And Ali ibn Abi Talib said, no, ya ibn Khattab, you are more deserving because you gave your daughter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I married his daughter. 3rd Khalifa, Uthman ibn Affan, he was also selected by the whole Sahaba, including Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not a single time did Ali ibn Abi Talib, I don't want Abu Bakr as Khalifa, I don't want Umar ibn Khattab as Khalifa, I don't want Uthman as Khalifa. Never. He was the first to give bay'ah, he was the first to give pledge, and he asked other people to give your pledge and bay'ah, being the son-in-law of Rasulullah, being the cousin of Rasulullah, being the son of his uncle Abu Talib. He was the one who advocated people. Let that be known, because some people try to spread lies, non-factual information, that Ali ibn Abi Talib was not happy of the Khilafah of Abu Bakr or Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab. He was always unhappy. No. Even when Uthman ibn Affan was going through turmoil, civil war, there was a civil war in Medina. The same place we go now for Hajj and Umrah. In those streets there were blood of Sahaba. The first civil war in Islam. In the Khilafah of Uthman ibn Affan, in the Khilafah of Uthman, when a group who began to claim themselves and say in Arabic, Nahnu Shi'atu Ali. The word Shia in Arabic means sect, group. So they began claiming themselves. They made their flag even. We are Nahnu Shi'atu Ali. We are the group of Ali. And Ali ibn Abi Talib is in Medina and is shunning them. He is reprimanding them. He said, no, this is khurafat. This is wahiyat. This is all garbage. Cancel this. They did not listen. No, we want to make you Khalifa. We want to install you as Khalifa. And we want to assassinate Uthman. Ali ibn Abi Talib got so upset with these people, and he got so scared that his name, his credibility will be maligned and tarnished. He left Medina. He went up to Uthman ibn Affan. He said, Ya Khalifatul Mu'mineen, I am going to Kufa. I'm going to Baghdad, Basra. I'm leaving Medina. I'm doing hijrah. Because I cannot stand in this fitna. I don't want Tariq to remember Ali ibn Abi Talib Karamallahu Wajhu as the one who is in Medina while the Medina people are trying to promote this big false lie. And what face will I show to my Rasulullah sallallahu. So he said, I'm leaving. Uthman said, don't leave. Stay here. I need you. He said, no, I'm not leaving you alone. My 2 sons, Hassan wa Hussein, Sayyid al-Shabab Ahlul Jannah. As Rasulullah used to say every Jummah khutbah in the member, that may Allah be pleased with Hassan and Hussein radhiyallahu anhuma, Sayyid al-Shabab Ahlul Jannah, the leaders of the youth in Jannah. He used to say, Rayhanatayya, Rayhanatayya, my 2 coolness of the eyes, my 2 fountains, Hassan and Hussein. They were so beloved to Rasulullah. So Ali ibn Abi Talib said, I'm leaving with you the most expensive asset investment, not of mine, but of Rasulullah. Hassan Hussein are going to stand in front of your house and guard your house against the fitna. It is written in Tariq, and documented, on the door of the house of Uthman ibn Affan, the door of the Khalifa, Hassan and Hussein were standing there with sword and guarding him. And anyone who would try to come and assassinate Uthman, they would fight with them. They would repel them back. So this is the biggest proof that Ali ibn Abi Talib gave his own allegiance and pledge to Uthman. And he left his son over there. He said, make sure you do not leave Uthman alone. I am going to Baghdad, Basra, because I don't want to be part of this fitna, and I don't want my name to be maligned and tarnished. This whole history is important to understand, to learn what happened in Karbala. So, when Uthman ibn Affan was martyred, the people, because Uthman ibn Affan came crying to Hassan and Hussein one day. He said, please, you two shabab, you two young boys, you go, leave me alone. I don't want to face Rasulullah on Yawm al-Qiyamah saying that Uthman made the shahada of Hassan Hussein. Uthman killed his own two bodyguards through the defense. So he did not want that to happen. Therefore, he wanted him to go away. And so he asked him, you two go away. They said, no, our Baba did not allow us. Our Baba ordered us to stay here, so we have to stay. So Uthman ibn Affan wrote a letter to Baghdad, Ali, saying that, oh Ali ibn Abi Talib, please go and tell them to move from here, because I don't want them to be martyred. I don't want them to be sacrificed. So Ali ibn Abi Talib wrote a letter back all the way to Medina to his sons that you can now move away from the house of Uthman ibn Affan. Then only they moved, because Uthman insisted. He said, I don't want to face Rasulullah on Yawm al-Qiyamah saying that you sacrificed my two grandsons. He was so worried, Uthman ibn Affan. He insisted, remove Hassan Hussein as bodyguards from my house. They said, no, we will die but not move unless Baba tells us. So Baba had to write a letter from there. Then they vacated. And it's written in the history books that the moment Hassan Hussein left their guard, left their places, I think the next day or the day after that, a big mob entered the house of Uthman ibn Affan and hit him with a sword. The sword came on his head, and the blood came on the Mus'haf of Uthman who he was reciting. And that Mus'haf is still there in Turkey, Topkapi Museum. You can see stains of blood on the Suhuf of Uthman that he was reciting. 82-year-old Khalifa reciting Quran, and he was Shaheed. This is the dark side of the history of Islam. The first civil war in Medina. And from there, the floodgates of fitna started. Now the group said, we are giving bay'ah to Ali. And they went all the way to Baghdad, Basra. And they brought him back. And he did not want to be the Khalifa. He denied, said, no, in this time of turmoil, I don't want to be. But they insisted. And the other said, Ali, you are the only one who can control the ummah. Otherwise, this is going crazy. It's like a wildfire jungle. He came back on this insistence of all the Muslims. There were no Shia Sunni Muslims at that time. Yes, the Shia to Ali was there, but he fought against them. He tried to suppress them. But he came back in Medina, Khilafah he took, and then he moved the headquarters of Khilafah from Medina to Baghdad. That's why he was assassinated in Baghdad. When Ali ibn Abi Talib was assassinated in Baghdad, Basra, in Kufa, then the noise began to rise. Who's going to be the successor? Who's going to be successor? So the group of people of Baghdad, Basra, they said Hassan will be the successor. And Muawiyah in Damascus, he openly declared his Khilafah. That is when the Khilafah Rashida ended. According to the ulama, Khilafah Rashida ended with the Shahada of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Muawiyah is not a Khalifa Rashida. Alright, and Hassan was Khalifa for only 2 months. When he saw the turmoil and the fighting going on, he dasbardar, he surrendered, he resigned. He said, I don't want khilafah, I don't want this headache and responsibility, I don't want to be part of this whole fiasco that is going on. So he withdrew. Muawiyah then declared his khilafah, people gave bay'ah to him, but this was now not khilafah Rashida, this was just the khilafah of the Umayyad, the Umayyad Empire, started from Muawiyah. And I know a lot of people give all kinds of curses and bad things to Muawiyah, but remember one thing, Muawiyah anhu was the Katibul Wahi of Rasulullah. Rasulullah had a big trust in him. He used to dictate the Quran to him. So just because a bad thing happened in the history of Islam does not mean that we degrade the person and insult and humiliate and say this person is no good. He had a big maqam with Rasulullah. He was related to Rasulullah also from that. So Muawiyah cannot be cursed and shunned and say, yes, they are all Sahaba, they are all human beings, they can make mistakes. Mistakes of Sahaba is just like any other person's mistake like us, because they're not angels, they're not Nabi or Anbiya. And when Muawiyah died, then before dying, he appointed Yazid as his Khalifa, successor. And at that time, Hussein ibn Ali was in Medina, and he refused to give bay'ah. He said, no, I don't want to. Oh, okay. So Hussein anhu, he said, I am not going to do this because I don't approve of what he's doing. Because he had his own reservations because of the character of Yazid and the things. And plus he said that my Nana, my grandfather, did not live in this earth to have nepotism and favoritism and family genealogy. If that was the case, he would have appointed my own father as the successor. So we elect people on merit. And he kept defying. And Yazid knew that if the grandson of Rasulullah does not give bay'ah to me, I won't be able to control. And therefore he sent people and emissaries to Medina. He even threatened also at times. And the people of Kufa, Baghdad, Basra said, you are in danger in Medina because from Medina, if you look geographically, Damascus is close. Why don't you come to us, Baghdad, come to Kufa, come to Baghdad, Basra, Kufa area. This is your father's place. Your Baba was here. Your Hassan, your eldest brother, Hassan ibn Ali is buried here. Yes, he was, by the way, he was also assassinated. His wife gave him poison. So they said, your father's grave is here, your brother's grave here. Come over here. And we will protect you, we'll save you from Yazid. And they wrote letters, he kept saying no. Talha and Zubair ibn Awam, Talha ibn Ubaidullah and Zubair ibn Awam, these were the two bodyguards of Rasulullah. They were in Medina. They told him, don't go, O Amir, or the leader of the Muslims, because they gave bay'ah to him. They said, you are our Amir, you are our Khalifa. But he did not want the Khilafah. He said, I want the Khilafah of the whole Ummah together, not just portions that you give me and Yazid people give over there. So he denied it. But he said, let me leave Medina. Because I think if I stay here, it's going to create rift with Yazid and Damascus. So he packed, it's like, family going. He tells the family, pack up your bags, we're doing hijrah, moving. Like if you want to pack your bags from New Jersey and you want to move to Houston, are you going to pack swords and guns and things and archery things? No, you're going to just pack your bags and go in camels and horses, and that's what he did. They didn't have any artillery, any ammunition or something. He was not going to fight. But the people of Kufa betrayed him. And when he reached the point of Karbala, Yazid found out that Hussein is going towards Kufa. And he said, I have to stop him no matter what. He told his commander-in-chief, make sure that Hussein does not reach Kufa. That was the direction that Yazid gave as a Khalifa, so-called Khilafah over there. Because he knew that if he goes to Kufa, I will have a big opposition. I won't be able to control the Khilafah. So the direction he gave to his soldiers, his commanders, make sure by hook or crook, by any means possible, he doesn't enter over there. So therefore they came all the way from Damascus through down to Kufa and camped in Karbala. If you look at the map, from Medina he's going to Kufa, from Damascus the army is going there. He camps at Karbala. He left in the month after Hajj. He did Hajj in Mecca. After Hajj in Zil-Hijjah, packed his bags. In the month of Zil-Hijjah they are traveling. Muharram entered and they are still in the road. This is at a time when people are going by horses and camels, takes months. So when Muharram entered, they were there in Karbala. 9th and 10th of Muharram is when their khayma, their tent, were attacked by the commander of Yazid's army. And Yazid never told his army people or his soldier commander, kill him. He said, just make sure you stop him by any means. Don't kill him. He never gave the direction. This is also the other part of history that is there. Although the other group says that Yazid ordered to kill the Hussein. He said, how can I order to kill the grandson of Rasulullah when my own father was very close to Rasulullah? But yes, it was a mishap that happened by the commander. He took a decision on the battlefront that let's go all out and burn these things down. And that's why if you read in the history, there are a lot of khurafat written that they stopped the food, they stopped the water, they tried to, starve them, they try to, thirsty. That's why our brothers and sisters from the Shia group, every Muharram they have sabil, they try to give free water, free juices, they cook halim, food, give free food to people, because this is their side of story. They're trying to show that, oh, look, Yazid was so bad that he starved the grandson of Rasulullah. And not just the grandson, mind you. There was his wife, his children, his cousins, his other family. The Ali Rasul, the whole family of Rasulullah was in those khayma. And Rasulullah during his lifetime, he had prophesied that this son, Ibni Hada, he said very clearly, this son of mine will give his blood to save the ummah. The shahad of Hussein is a sacrifice for the nusra of the deen of Allah. He could have stood up, he could have fought and said, no, I'm going to fight till my death. I'm going to be the Khalifa. He said, no, I'm leaving the headquarters, Medina. I'm going to Kufa, Baghdad. I want to live a life of simpleness and total obliviousness so that I don't be in the spotlight. And yet he was attacked. And obviously when you were attacked, he had to defend. They had to defend, but they couldn't defend because they didn't have that much soldiers, anything. It's just a group of family members going and a few people. They couldn't fight this huge army that Yazid sent over there. Many, many years ago in Medina, Rasulullah had said, this is a narration that is from Anas ibn Malik, and another narration from Salama, the wife of Rasulullah. Because one day Rasulullah was sweating and huffing, breathing heavily. And she said, what happened, Rasulullah? He said, Mikael came to me, the angel for rain. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I have come to inform you that your grandson will be martyred, shaheed. And if you want, I can show you the soil of that place. That place is called Karbala. Karbala. Mikael and Jibreel had informed Rasulullah. These are authentic narrations there. That in his lifetime, and Rasulullah cried. So when he was crying, Salama asked, what is making you cry? He said, my grandson will give his life to keep the ummah together. The waqi of Karbala is a waqi of unity. For the sake of unity, if the Ali Rasul has to give blood, they gave their blood even. They did not want iqtidar, power, authority, sulta. They didn't want khilafah. They wanted ummah, ukhuwa, united. So with that I end, that this is the story that we have to teach our children. They know what happened to the family of Rasulullah, to the grandson of Rasulullah in Muharram, but it only happened once over there. And we just remember as a historical event. We don't do things that other people do, like mourning, even wearing black clothes. I know somebody asked me today at Jummah that is Muharram over? I said, no, Muharram is still there. But this is not black, this is dark brown, by the way. This is dark brown. And there's no such thing as wearing black for mourning. There's no hadith. Rasulullah said that if you are sad or mourning the death of your father, wear black. People have made this on their own. But what we need to teach these young kids, remember the incident of Karbala was a sacrifice. The Nawasi Rasul, the grandson of Rasul, sacrificed his life, not just his life, his wife, his kids, his children, his family. For who? For La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. In Tansurullah yansurkum. You make the deen of Allah successful, Allah will make you successful. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum. Now it's food time. We have 42 minutes.